Hello everyone, welcome back to another update on my game. As you can see, I've changed the title menu. I'm going to run through the game once and then I'll go into what I've done. I've been working on the game for the past 2 weeks, I just haven't uploaded a video, and I just keep working on it instead of making videos. So I've redone the title menu. I have these buttons here. I mean, this is sort of from a template that I've been using. I might add controller support, but that might be a whole undertaking. Settings, I don't have settings yet, but I do have upgrades. So you can go and use your hard-earned coins or whatever I end up using this currency as. You can hover over these. This is a max resource every 2% per level. This is attack speed, which is not working for some reason. Sweet. Resource regeneration rate. Anyways, let's go back and play the game. I've also redone this character selection UI. Added a nice little thingy here. You can hover over each of the abilities and it'll just tell you a little quick description of what it is and the name. Same thing for the cryomancer here. And we can enter the game. I've also redone the action bar UI here, and the currency and wave count is over here. And before you go rushing to the comments, yes, the freaking animations are so dumb right now. They're even worse than they were. I'm in the process of changing them up right now. I just, yeah, I needed to make a video before I started working on new things, and yeah. So new UI down here. You can see the cooldown that was on it before, but it's still there. I need to update the key binding for each of the spells, and every time, I think I might get rid of this, but as you can see, the mana potion is jiggling. That's just indicating, oh, I've regened a couple of mana each time. Every time one of these resources is used, it jiggles, even either positive or negative spending. Same goes for the health. And I added this little ghost thing so you can tell where they're going to spawn the area of attack. Or, yeah. Kill these guys real quick. I've fixed the pickup radius, so that's working now. Got the XP bar down there. You know, level 3. It also plays a little animation when I level up. The level does a little thing. I don't know if I've taken damage, but you can see the health. Yeah, jiggle. I've also added, you can see my character frame also lighting up red. Wow, that is a lot of area, guys. Oh no, I'm about to die. Quick, let me show this off too. I've enabled this debug menu here. So I need to fix it because right now when I enter God mode, I can't use any of my abilities for some reason. So I need to fix that, but I also have skip wave, so then every enemy just dies. And I have give myself 100 coins. Oh, it's giving me 200 coins. Sweet. Something else to fix. So on top of all that, once I'm done with the 5th wave, let's skip this ahead to finish this wave. Then we're presented with the shop. In the future, I'm going to have this like a dedicated scene where you can move around and choose your items and do a whole bunch more. But right now, it's just some UI that you can pick. That actually works, so I can buy this 35% move speed. I think there's still a bug with how how I'm applying my level up to the stats when I load into a new level, so it doesn't look like 35% is much right now. But anyways, here I'm at the second level. No enemies are spawning because I'm also working on another enemy type, a melee enemy. The animation is just so dumb. But yeah, let's talk about a little bit. Why did I have this? Where is it? So I can remember. Oh yeah, so first thing, I didn't even talk about this, but I actually added status effects to abilities. Like my fireball has a dot on it, so when it hits an enemy, it takes damage over time. I also added support. I mean, it's the same exact system, but I can also add abilities that heal over time. I can add an enemy that heals, that puts dots on the other enemies or whatever, right? I basically just copied, let's see if I can go to mediator class here. This is the status mediator class, which I got from Get Amend. Super cool guy. YouTube channel is awesome. But I think I've modified this. Maybe I have. Either way, the status effect manager is just a copy of the mediator class, minus the cache and the order of which, I don't really need to worry about that. I don't think I have an action here, no. But I create a status effect, which I have here. There's a dispose action. I got a timer for it. I have a game object instance that I can use, so if I want to show that the character is burning with some fire particles or something like that, I can. In fact, talking about it now, I can actually change this to a particle system, maybe, instead of a full game object. I don't know. Stuff to think about in the future, but I can get rid of this too. I also added a tick timer, which is just another implementation of the timer class. It does what it says. It ticks. Right now, if you don't give it a tick, then it just ticks 1 second by default every second. And I did it this way because I don't want to overcomplicate it for myself. I was thinking, oh, maybe we can have some ways to speed up the tick rate or this or that. Like, my scope of my game is already getting a little too big, so I need to simplify things when I can. So this is how I ended up doing it. I can apply modifications to the character here. I update each one and then dispose it. As you can see from the video, I also added upgrades, and that comes in the form of items here. So each item has name and a stat that it, or stat modifier data, which just means that right now at least each item in the game can only modify a stat. I'm going to change this in the future. Either I'm going to change the stat modifier data to be some other class, or I create other stats for, like, say, projectile count. That's something I'm thinking about adding, so every time I shoot one fireball, it actually shoots 2 or 3 or 4, however I modify that stat. But either I add something like that to the base stats, or I make a completely different class of items. I might just add it to the stats because that's probably easier for me. Activate the item. Oh yeah, I also made this class. It's super easy now. It's just an extension method for, well, no, this is not the extension one. This is just a helper class. I have 2 of the same. One takes the stat modifier data, and one takes this other class I made, info, which is just the scriptable object, but in a non-scriptable object form, so I can create them at runtime. And all it does is do what I need it to. I don't have to do this every single time I want to add a modifier, and there's different things that I need to do for different stats. So that's kind of why this looks weird, but it's so much easier to call this every time now. Another thing I did was here in the player class, I subscribed to the onStat modified action event from the stats mediator class, and every time it's a move speed For now, at least, I'm only checking if it's move speed, but when the move speed stat updates, I am also updating my controller's speed. And right now I'm just setting the sprint speed to be 30% more than what your base movement speed is. I might change that to be like, I don't know, 50%, or an entire different sprint speed stat, right? Like I might do that so that you can modify your run or your walk and sprint a little differently. So that happens every time you level up. Right now I think I'm curving too high, so at like level 10 you're already moving double the speed, which is way too fast. I need to rein in all of the stats and balance. But along the same lines, let's go to the projectile class, projectile ability. I mean, here on execute, this whole class I changed a little bit. So this was in here for a while, getting the attack speed multiplier, but I never really used it until now. So I've enabled it in the animator for the player, and every time, and I've also added the attack speed as a stat, which actually I think it was already there before, but I'm hooking everything up. So I get the attack speed, and I will never go below 0.1 attack speed, and that's just, so the higher the attack speed, the faster you attack is how I'm picturing it. And I'm grabbing the animation because I'm actually casting the animations, or the fireball off of the animation, so the fireball won't actually launch from the hand until it reaches a certain point using animation events. So I'm grabbing the animation length and just dividing it by how fast we're attacking. And then I'm also clamping. See, this is something that I'm debating, trying to figure out whether or not I want to do this. So let's just say the attack speed is 2 and I half the animation length. Well, if it's bigger than the cooldown of the animation, then I'm setting the the cooldown to the animation length, so it doesn't feel weird. Like if you can just continuously spam things. But I've also wondered if I should set the animation like reverse. So I should set the animation to the cooldown if it's less than it. I don't know. It's something I need to play around with. But that's why if I go to Firebolt here, Firebolt's cooldown is actually like 1 second, right? Oh, see it said, oh, okay, that's the script log. Yeah, it was 1 second, but I haven't checked this out. Like I can even set it to 1 and then go play. And when I attack for the first time, it'll set it to 2.3, just because that's how long the animation is, 2.3 seconds on my base attack speed. So that's something to think about. Come back and it will be 2.3. Yep. Everything else here is the same. Actually, let me show this off real quick, because I don't think I was able to really show it off in the little playthrough I did earlier. Let's make this stat speed buff actually a attack speed buff. And we'll just multiply the attack speed by 5 for 5 seconds. Just so you can see how crazy it gets. Alright, so, normal attack speed. I grab this bottle here, and then, yeah, super fast attack speed. But I still need to mess with the animation, or the cooldown and animation clamping and all that. And yeah, that's about all that I've worked on. I might be missing some things. I worked on a lot, and I just kept pushing off making a video. Oh yeah, I mean, you probably could tell as soon as you launch the video here, but my post-processing, I've also fixed. There was a setting on the volume here, ACES. I don't even know what that means because I haven't really looked much into all the post-processing stuff in Unity, but I was messing with everything here and decided just to click. It was on neutral. I swapped it to ACES and the game looks 10 times better now. So that was awesome. All right, another thing you can see from the post-processing update is this little blue ball. I've changed the color on it. It's supposed to be like an ice bolt. That's why it slows you down too. I need to fix the visual effects there on the slow down, but yeah, it's coming together. I think the last thing that I need to, like last big feature I need to add are bosses, and that should be every feature that I want for now. Then I just need to make a bunch of items, bunch of classes, bunch of bosses, new enemies. I guess I don't know if adding melee skills counts as a feature, but I need to add melee skills, which I think is going to be fairly easy for me to do. I'm thinking I might just use the animation, put a trigger collider on the sword, and then whenever it collides with some object of the opposite team, then does damage. But yeah, besides melee skills and boss, then it's just polishing, and then I'll have a little playable demo for my friends to test around, and that's about it, I think, at least for this video. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I make a video next week showcasing what I worked on, and see you in the next video.